Before the blood, before the ring, before AEW even knew her name, Arissa LeBrock was already living a secret life Hollywood tried to erase. Born into fame, but raised in silence, Arissa grew up surrounded by lights, cameras, and legends. Her father, Steven Seagal, was a martial arts icon, a man whose name meant discipline, danger, and mystique. Her mother, Kelly LeBrock, was the face of 1980s beauty, a model and actress adored worldwide. To the outside world, Arissa's life looked perfect. But behind closed doors, Hollywood was a battlefield. While other celebrity children walked red carpets, Arissa was training in silence. Her father made sure of that. Every morning at sunrise, she practiced wrist locks and balance drills on the hardwood floors of their California home. No makeup, no photos, no applause. Just sweat, bruises, and expectations. "Your body is your weapon," Seagal told her, "and your silence is your armor." She listened, but deep down she wanted more than mastery. She wanted identity. As a teenager, she secretly auditioned for film roles, using her mother's maiden name to hide her connection to Seagal. She landed small parts, stunt doubles, background fighters, in indie action films nobody remembered. But even then, fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. "Who is this girl who moves like Seagal?" one blog wrote. "She fights like him, but looks like a model." Hollywood took notice. But so did her father. One night he confronted her after a late shoot. "You want fame," he said coldly. "Earn it without my shadow." That conversation burned into her soul. From that night on, Arissa swore to carve her own path, even if it meant breaking away from the Seagal name forever. At 21, she vanished from Hollywood. No one knew where she went. Tabloids speculated. Some said she joined a secret dojo in Japan. Others claimed she'd gone underground as a professional bodyguard. The truth was stranger. Arissa had joined a private training group in Los Angeles known only as the Iron Circle, a network of former stunt fighters, female MMA veterans, and retired wrestlers. There, she learned pain wasn't just part of the job, it was the currency. When she finally resurfaced years later, she wasn't the glamorous Hollywood daughter anymore. She was stronger, sharper, and dangerous. AEW recruiters spotted her at an underground fight night in Las Vegas. One look, and they knew she wasn't an actress anymore. She was a storm. Fans on social media went wild. "Seagal's daughter is fighting for real," one post read. "This can't be scripted." But nothing about Arissa LeBrock ever was, because what the world didn't know was that Arissa's secret Hollywood life had already left behind a trail of enemies, and one of them was about to follow her into the ring. When Arissa LeBrock disappeared from the movie scene, the headlines went silent. But Hollywood didn't forget her. Behind the closed studio doors, whispers spread like wildfire. "She's Seagal's daughter. She knows too much." You see, before she vanished, Arissa had stumbled upon something she wasn't supposed to see. A secret about her father's old film contracts and the powerful names that controlled them. During her time on set as a stunt double, she overheard producers discussing blacklisted actors and secret payouts connected to Seagal's legacy. To them, she was just another extra, but her last name made her dangerous. One night, Arissa got a call from an old friend, a stunt coordinator named Jake Lorne. "You're being watched," he warned her. "Walk away from the business before they walk over you." It wasn't paranoia. The next week, her small roles vanished. Studio callbacks stopped. Even modeling agencies began rejecting her, without explanation. In an industry that thrived on fame, Arissa had become invisible overnight. That betrayal hit harder than any fight she'd trained for. Hollywood had turned on her, and her father wasn't picking up the phone. "Dad," she whispered to her reflection one night, "you taught me to fight. You didn't tell me who I'd be fighting." She packed her things and left Los Angeles with nothing but her duffel bag and her mother's old bracelet. For a while, she worked small security jobs, film sets, nightclubs, even private events for celebrities who didn't recognize her. But the fire inside her never went out. One night in 2018, fate struck again. A retired WWE agent named Lisa Thompson saw Arissa break up a backstage brawl at a Vegas event. 2 drunk fighters, 1 single strike, and it was over. Thompson approached her afterward and said just one line, "You're wasting that power off camera." That moment changed everything. Thompson introduced her to the world of professional wrestling, the raw, theatrical, brutal arena where pain was art and storytelling was war. At first, Arissa hesitated. She wasn't a showwoman, she was a fighter. But when she stepped into the ring for the first time, the crowd, the lights, the adrenaline, she realized this was Hollywood on her own terms. But old ghosts followed. Someone leaked a photo from her underground fight club days, captioned, "Seagal's daughter goes rogue." Within hours, her name was trending again. Fans loved her mystery, but executives didn't. Sponsors pulled out, rumors spread that she was too violent, and her chances of a WWE contract nearly disappeared. Still, Arissa refused to back down. She wasn't the silent daughter anymore. She was Arissa LeBrock, the fighter born from both discipline and defiance. As she stood at the ropes of her first televised match, a camera zoomed in on her face. Her eyes said everything. "I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to finish what Hollywood started." What she didn't know was that someone from her past, someone tied to those buried Hollywood secrets, had just joined the WWE roster too. The night was electric. The lights blazed down on the roaring crowd, and Arissa LeBrock stood center ring, her knuckles taped, her heart hammering like a war drum. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. "That's Seagal's daughter," one shouted. "She's legit," another screamed from the front row. But as her opponent's music faded, she noticed something strange. In the front section, right behind the announcer's table, sat a man in a gray suit, sunglasses on, arms folded. He wasn't cheering. He was watching, coldly. At first, she thought it was another talent scout, but when she looked again, her breath caught. It was Marcus Kane, a Hollywood producer from her father's past, the same man who once threatened to erase her from casting calls. What was he doing at a WWE show? After the match, Arissa walked backstage, sweat dripping down her face, adrenaline still rushing. She pulled off her gloves and found a note tucked into her locker. "You can run from Hollywood, but not from me. M.K." Her hands trembled. She crumpled the note and stared into the mirror. "Not again," she whispered. For weeks, she tried to ignore it. She trained harder, fought tougher, and pushed herself into the spotlight. The crowd loved her. Social media exploded with her highlights, her spinning back fists, her no-nonsense attitude, her raw power. "This woman fights like she's got something to prove," one commentator said during a live broadcast. And she did. But the more fame she gained, the more ghosts crawled out of the shadows. Anonymous messages started appearing online, blurry photos of her father with Hollywood executives, cryptic captions like, "She's next," and "The LeBrock legacy isn't clean." Arissa stayed silent, but inside, fear was turning to fury. Then came the night that changed everything. During a major pay-per-view event, she was called to the ring for an unscripted promo. But as the cameras rolled, the Tron behind her flickered. The crowd gasped. A video played. Old footage of Arissa walking out of a Hollywood studio, arguing with Marcus Kane. It was grainy, but clear enough. The arena went silent. Arissa froze for a second, then dropped the mic. She looked up into the stands, and there he was again, the same gray suit, smirking. The crowd started chanting, "Who is he? Who is he?" Security moved in, but Kane disappeared before they reached him. Backstage, Arissa slammed her fists into the locker, shaking. "They're trying to bury me again," she growled, "but this time, I'm not going under." She called her agent that night and demanded a special match. No scripts, no limits, no mercy. A fight she called The Reckoning. What she didn't know was that the man in the suit wasn't acting alone, and someone inside WWE itself had helped him pull the strings. The night of The Reckoning was chaos before it even began. Fans packed the arena shoulder to shoulder, holding signs that read, "Seagal's daughter vests the world," and "Arissa is real." Social media was on fire. Every wrestling forum buzzed with speculation. Was this real beef? Was Hollywood behind it? When Arissa walked into the locker room, the air was thick. Her tag partner, Sasha Vale, avoided eye contact. The crew whispered in corners. And the producer handed her the night's schedule with a smirk that didn't sit right. Something felt off. Too quiet, too controlled. As she wrapped her hands, Arissa muttered, "They want to fight? I'll give them one they'll never forget." Her entrance hit like thunder. The crowd erupted into chaos. Fireworks, music, chants. Her name echoed through the arena. But halfway through the match, as she went for her signature spinning elbow, Sasha Vale hesitated. The timing was wrong. Arissa felt it. The rhythm broke. Then, without warning, Sasha turned on her. The betrayal was instant and brutal. A steel chair cracked across Arissa's back. The crowd gasped, then screamed. "What's happening?" the commentator shouted. "This wasn't part of the show." Sasha stood over her, microphone in hand, breathing hard. "You thought you could walk into WWE and rewrite history?" she shouted. "You're just a spoiled Hollywood shadow, and I'm done carrying your story." The arena lost its mind. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Arissa crawled to the ropes, her back throbbing, eyes blazing with fury. "You're not doing this for you," she hissed. "You're doing it for him." That's when she saw it, Kane's gray-suited figure watching from the balcony. It all clicked. Sasha Vale wasn't her rival. She was his weapon. Backstage chaos exploded. Producers screamed orders. Referees broke into arguments, and social media lit up with hashtags WWE Reckoning, Ichichi Sasha, Turns, Ichichi Seagal, Legacy. Some fans believed it was scripted brilliance. Others swore it was real betrayal. Either way, everyone was watching. Later that night, as Arissa sat in the medical room, ice pressed against her shoulder, her phone buzzed. A private message. No name, just a video attachment. She played it. It showed Marcus Kane shaking hands with a WWE executive, the same one who promised her full creative control. The deal had been made weeks ago. Her betrayal had been planned from the start. Arissa's jaw clenched. "They wanted to humiliate me," she whispered. "They just gave me my next fight." That was the night Arissa decided to go rogue, to tear apart the very system that tried to use her name for ratings. She wasn't just Steven Seagal's daughter anymore. She was the storm that Hollywood and WWE never saw coming. But vengeance has a price, and Arissa was about to learn that someone even closer to her had been working for Kane all along. When Arissa confronted the truth about the deal between Marcus Kane and WWE, she thought she'd reached the end of the lies. But she was wrong. What came next would shatter everything she believed about her own family. A week after the reckoning, Arissa received an unmarked envelope. No return address. Inside was a single photograph. An old image of Steven Seagal shaking hands with a man wearing a WWE blazer. On the back, in faded ink, were the words, "Every empire is built on silence." Her chest tightened. She knew that face. The man beside her father was Rex Darrian, one of the earliest WWE financiers, known for bridging deals between Hollywood and wrestling promotions. The same man who mysteriously vanished from the business 20 years ago. She needed answers. That night, she flew to Louisiana, to a quiet estate her father owned but rarely visited. She didn't tell anyone. Not her trainers, not her team, not even her mother. When Seagal opened the door, surprise flashed across his face. "Arissa, it's been a while." "Yeah," she said coldly. We need to talk about Rex Darien." His expression changed instantly, the calm martial artist mask slipping for just a moment. "That name doesn't belong in this house," he said. But Arissa didn't back down. She laid the photo on the table. "Then tell me why it's in your past." Seagal sighed, the kind of deep, weary breath only a man with too many secrets could exhale. "Rex wasn't just a businessman," he said finally. "He was a fixer. Back then, WWE was desperate for film exposure, and Hollywood needed something in return. Deals were made, favors exchanged. People like Kane were protected because they kept the money flowing." Arissa's stomach turned. "So, you knew what they were doing?" Her father nodded slowly. "I didn't know everything, but when I found out, I walked away, and I told them to leave you out of it." Tears welled in her eyes, not from weakness, but from fury. "You didn't protect me," she said. "You just left me unprepared." He tried to explain, but she was already walking away. The weight of legacy had crushed her childhood. Now it threatened her identity. On the flight back to Florida, Arissa scrolled through the photos on her phone. Images of her matches, the crowd, the blood, the pain. "They turned me into a storyline," she whispered. "Now I'll turn them into a reckoning." By the time she landed, she had a plan. Not revenge, exposure. She'd use the one thing WWE and Hollywood feared most: truth in front of millions. She called Lisa Thompson, her mentor, and said, "I'm done fighting for them. I'm fighting for me." But as Arissa prepared to go public, an anonymous text appeared on her phone. A single sentence that froze her blood. "He's gone. Your father didn't walk away this time." When Arissa read the message, "He's gone. Your father didn't walk away this time." The world around her stopped. The hum of her hotel room vanished into silence. Her phone slipped from her hand, and for a long moment she didn't move. Steven Seagal was more than her father. He was her foundation, her training, her shield against chaos. If he was gone, then everything she'd fought for was suddenly hollow. She tried calling. No answer. Every connection, every contact went dead. Then came the reports. A car found on a deserted road outside New Orleans, engine running, door open, no driver. Fans flooded social media with wild theories. Seagal faked his death. This is part of Arissa's WWE story. It's all a PR stunt. But Arissa knew better. This was real. Days passed without answers. Grief twisted into rage. She stared at the mirror in her locker room before her next show, eyes burning red. "They took my name," she muttered. "They took my peace. They won't take my truth." That night, she made a decision that would shock the world. During a live broadcast, right after the main event, Arissa stormed the ring unannounced. No music, no cue, no permission. The crowd went wild. "What's she doing here?" the announcer shouted. Cameras cut to her face. Fierce, tear-streaked, defiant. She grabbed the microphone. "For years," she began, her voice shaking but strong, "you've heard the stories, the scandals, the lies about my family. You think you know the Seagal legacy? You don't." The arena fell silent. Even the commentators stopped talking. "I was told to stay quiet," she continued, "told that truth ruins careers, but silence builds monsters, men like Marcus Kane, who destroyed lives for money and fame. My father tried to walk away from them, and now he's missing." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Social media exploded. Fans on Twitter typed furiously, "This isn't part of the show. Is she breaking character? This is real." Arissa turned toward the camera and said, "You wanted real. Here it is. The truth doesn't bleed. It fights back." Then she dropped the mic and stormed out as security scrambled behind her. That single promo became the most viewed wrestling clip of the year. 12 million views in 24 hours. News outlets picked it up. Investigations reopened. and for the first time, WWE executives had to face questions they couldn't dodge. A week later, an unmarked package arrived at Arissa's training facility. Her father's old dojo patch and a note that simply read, "He fought back, too." She smiled faintly, eyes glistening. "Then it's not over," she whispered. Fans couldn't believe what they were witnessing. The rise, the loss, the legend in motion. And as the lights faded on her next WWE appearance, one message flashed across the Titantron, bold, red, and final. The Seagal legacy has only just begun.